Howdy folks, I'm Bubbly Bugle, belligerently bypassing Blythe Broccoli.
I'm Amber.
And here's more Blythe Broccoli for us to bypass, but it just was Reddit story, so let's get started on that. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Posting My Neighbor's Dog Poo Bags Through His Letterbox? Each morning, my neighbor walks his dog at 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. He puts the dog poo in a plastic bag, as is required, but then just leaves it on the side of the pavement. I spoke to him about it in 3 separate occasions, and the last time, and I told him that if he didn't dispose of them, I would, after he said the street cleaners would do it, and I pointed out that there was a trash can less than 400 meters away. Fast forward a day later, and lo and behold, I see through the window him doing it again. So I picked it up and I put it in his letterbox. Alright folks, what do you think?
I think it's just desserts, but OP needs to be careful because they could get in legal trouble potentially for messing with someone's mail.
Yeah.
So, I think what the neighbor is doing is absolutely 100% jerk territory, and they definitely deserve to be served this back, but OP also just needs to cover themselves legally.
Well, that's like just it, it's very inconsiderate to go out of your way and put, these kind of bags down on the side of the road. I see this a lot, actually. I know some of those bags are not biodegradable, and so maybe that's why they're doing it. But it just gets really kind of gross when you see these, bags just lining the street or wherever. It's like you went through the effort of picking this up and now you're just going to leave it there.
Yeah, well, it's disgusting and unsanitary, and people need to, like, if you don't want to clean up after a dog, don't have a dog.
Yeah. I really think that's really what it boils down to. If you don't want to clean up after a dog, then don't have a dog. And unfortunately, that's just being a pet owner, a responsible pet owner. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Or live in the middle of the woods where your dog can poo wherever they want. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk? My ex paid bills of mine and thinks that she deserves the money back. Okay, some background here. So I was with my ex for 10 years, and over that time, I always worked a full-time job. Meanwhile, my girlfriend worked 2 to 3 jobs while working towards her degree. Every time something came up, she would front the money and I would pay back half. She also paid for all the recreational activities. It also reached a point where I couldn't pay back monthly towards what I owed her, but I told her that I would pay her back gradually as I could. Well, she kept paying for the bills, medical expenses, emergencies, etc. We agreed that she would keep a list of the bills that she paid on my behalf. She only counted expenses like rent, my medical bills, and car repairs. By the time the relationship ended, I owed her $25,000. I planned to pay her back with an inheritance that I was receiving, but we ended up breaking up. We talked about it, and we agreed that I would pay back $10,000 since the number was so large. We broke up on a civil term, and I told her I would still pay. But my family and friends said that she had no entitlement to my inheritance, and I agree. She's upset because she's paying on debt that I accrued. I feel like if it were me lending money, I wouldn't ever ask for the money back in the first place. She should have understood that I don't make enough and wouldn't have been able to pay it back anyways. I worked 40 hours and I can't handle working multiple jobs like she did, and I think that it's financial abuse. I think that I have every right to spend that money how I want, and I plan to get a new car with the inheritance instead. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
Yes, centrifuge here, OP. You are a major jerk. You made an agreement to pay back this money. It doesn't matter where the money comes from, whether it's an inheritance. She's not entitled to your inheritance. She is entitled to have her loan repaid.
Yeah.
If you have to use inheritance money to pay that, so be it. If you took out a loan from the bank and you needed to repay it, like, they will take your inheritance money, like, it's not like this is sacred and cannot be touched for bills.
Yeah, well, I hope she takes him to court because I think this is, grounds for a legal case. Like, if he owes her $10,000, and it sounds like she was even willing to, like, go down, right?
That's the thing, is it sounds like she's come down to 10. It was $25,000. Now it's only 10. But yes, that's still a lot of money. But it sounds like she has accrued debt on his behalf. Like, is like having to pay off debt that she incurred because of him.
Yeah.
And him being like, oh, I'd never ask for this money back. Well, you're never gonna have enough money to loan money. Like,
Well, and the thing is, like, I know he worked 40 hours a week, but she worked 2 to 3
I
jobs while
know.
going to
The
school.
audacity of him being like, I couldn't handle working that much. It's like, that's not an excuse. You learn, you figure it out. You've got bills to pay.
Yeah. And I just don't understand why he continues to accumulate these expenses. Like this seems like if he's working 40 hours a week and accumulating huge amounts of debt too, like there's something going on here with how they are budgeting or something like that. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. It just seems like he should be able to, afford something. And I mean not all jobs of course pay a living wage, and maybe that's just, flippant for me to say, but I think he should re-examine his finances, and I also think that the family members are filling his head with nonsense,
Mm-hmm.
and that this isn't, maybe they don't know the full story, but he needs to pay back his debts
Mm-hmm.
because this is what he owes her. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. But folks, let's see what the Wheel of Judgment has to say. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment that OP's earned. Centrifuge.
Fair.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Get a Garbage Can with a Lid? For some context, I'm a 22-year-old female, and I have a roommate, a 24-year-old male. Before we moved in, we went over who would get what for the apartment. I supplied all the kitchen appliances, microwave, pots, pans, utensils, plates, bowls, Tupperware glasses, mugs, air fryer, etc., as well as pretty much everything else because it was easier. All he was supposed to supply were the garbage cans that we would need for the washroom, then the kitchen, as well as the shoe rack. I had explicitly told him that the bathroom garbage would need a lid. I told him that at least a dozen times, that it needed to be one with a lid, and he agreed to get one. Well, it turns out he didn't get one with a lid. I'm a woman, so obviously I bleed every month. I know most men don't like to see used pads from that, which is why I said that I would need a lid, for his own sake, not mine. Well, when my cycle came around and I tossed the used pad in it, he complained and asked if I could bury or cover them. I told him that I could not because I had told him to get one with a lid and he had it. But he was more than welcome to go buy one with a lid to solve the issue. He said that he shouldn't have to. I reminded him that I had supplied everything else for the apartment and this was the one thing that he was supposed to get. So I am not fixing it for him by using my own money to get one. Now he's mad about it and giving me the cold shoulder. All right, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk and the entitlement here. Like, OP told him, hey, you need one for a lid. OP is not bothered by seeing pads in the trash. Only
Mm-hmm.
he is. This is a him problem. He's going to rectify it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of view this as a him problem, not an OP problem. If he really is tired of this, then he can maybe go use the bathroom outside in their yard and dig a hole or something like that. I don't know.
Like, but this the entitlement of this man. Like, OP has paid for everything for their
Yeah,
apartment. And he's like, doesn't buy one with a lid probably because he wanted to cheap out on it.
yeah.
He has one thing to buy, and then he throws a tantrum and is like, but I don't want to see that.
I know. I think he just needs to go and buy a lid if he's not interested in this. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck.
Also, he can be glad that he's not the one bleeding every month.
Mm-hmm. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Getting Upset That My Roommate's Cat Ruined a Project That I'm Working on? So my roommate and I have lived together for 6 months. I'm 18 and she's 19. I'm super into my grandmother's hobbies. Crochet, cross-stitch, embroidery, things like that. And I've been working on a rather large project for my boyfriend. He's a massive anime nerd, so I'm embroidering him a hoodie with a bunch of his favorite characters on it. It's taken me weeks to gain the amount of progress that I have. And today, I came home from my morning class that I had, and I noticed that my door was open. I always close it. Well, when I walk in, I see her cat lying on my bed. I don't let her cats into my room because one of them has a tendency to pee on things. And I have a huge yarn sash, so I'm immediately uneasy when I see him in my room. Well, I left the hoodie on my bed in one of the embroidery hoops. And when I went closer, I noticed a bunch of the threads had been pulled out. It looked like he had just been kneading it and scratching at the threads. Not just a few threads either. I mean, he pulled out and ruined days worth of work. I flipped out and had a little bit of a meltdown. I'm autistic, but I calmed myself and I went to my roommate and asked her why he was in my room. Her response was that she needed to grab something in there, and when she went in, he ran in after her, and she didn't feel like getting him. So she just left him with the door open. I showed her what he did, and she just shrugged it off. I told her that this was days of work and a bunch of money in thread. I told her that she needed to buy me new thread, as I had to special order several colors. She flat out refused and said that I shouldn't have left it out, which is BS. I didn't leave it out. It was on my bed, in my room. That was closed. I've reached out to a couple of mutual friends, and they told me to drop it. I don't feel like I should, because this would never have happened if she never went into my room. So am I the jerk? Edit, thank you for all the comments. I'll add, since a lot of people asked, the reason why she went into my room was because I used some of her highlighter the other day. I asked first, and she knew that I left them on my desk as we were watching a movie in my room last night. After much thought and realizing that my landlord is just likely lazy, I asked my boyfriend to get a lock for my room when he gets out of work today. And he and I also decided to discuss moving in together. We've been together for 5 years coming up, so we feel comfortable enough with the idea at this point. I'm also planning on having a sit down with my roommate tonight when she gets home to talk about boundaries and to hopefully clear things up. But I'm not super hopeful of a good outcome on that. I will update if anything of note happens. Thank you all again. And folks, there is an update. Update. Am I the jerk for getting upset? My roommate's cat ruined a project that I'm working on. So that conversation did not go as I thought it would. For some context, my roommate let her cat into my room, and he ruined the embroidery project that I was working on for my boyfriend. She came home earlier than I thought that she would be, so I decided to have another go at talking to her. She rolls her eyes at me when I insisted that she pay for the replacement thread, as I only have a few weeks left to finish it before my anniversary. This is when she really flipped out. She told me that I do too much for him and that it's gross. My boyfriend and I have a very healthy relationship, and I love him so much because he's always going above and beyond for me. She flat out said that he doesn't deserve that level of work put into him, so I pressed her on what she meant. Then she confesses, after much effort, that she deserved to have a man like him and not me. That because I spend all of my free time doing grandma hobbies instead of showing him off, I don't deserve him? So I asked her if that meant that she did it on purpose, and she straight up said that she encouraged him to ruin it, put him on my bed, and helped him ruin it. So I am confused and hurt. I've been friends with this girl for years, and I can't believe that she would just say this to me. And before anyone jumps in to the conclusion that my boyfriend is hitting on her behind my back, he would never. He is so obsessed with me that he barely gives her the time of day. But I think that's what makes her mad. She can't get him to notice her, so she ruined something that was meant for him. Needless to say, I'm going to talk to my landlord tomorrow and see if I can break my lease. My boyfriend said that I could stay with him at his parents' house for now until we can get a place of our own. I just don't know what happened here. I'm genuinely so confused as to how this ended up being my life. Though now it makes sense why our mutuals were so set on me dropping it. I guess she's been telling them since we moved in together that she wanted my boyfriend. I'm dropping them all because obviously I can't trust them. All right, folks, what do you think?
Oh, poor OP. Like, that's such an awful situation. Um, I mean, OP did nothing wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and the roommate is fully 110% in the wrong. You don't destroy things. Like, first of all, people are not property. It doesn't matter how much you like someone, you are not entitled to their affections.
Mm-hmm.
And so, trying to play these petty games and, ruining stuff for the boyfriend because she wants him, like, and, it's just such awful behavior, and it really says a lot about her character and nothing about OP's character. Like, I don't think OP did anything wrong. I think OP handled the situation great. I'm glad that the boyfriend is on OP's side and supporting her and helping her get out, because this sounds like a very unhealthy living situation at this point.
Yeah, whatever happened to opening the door with a bathrobe on like a normal person and seducing him? Right? I mean, like, why resort to this when she could try to seduce him instead?
Or, just respect that he is in a relationship and not do that.
I'm just kidding, of course. Yeah, I think that she needs to work on herself a lot here. I mean, this was a pretty unexpected outcome. She went out of her way to sabotage OP's work, and I don't understand why she's doing this other than just to be a petty mean girl,
I
right?
mean, it is like she wants him. She doesn't think OP deserves him because of her grandma hobbies. Like,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. People are allowed to have whatever hobbies they want. Like, I mean, I have boring hobbies, what would be boring to most people. They make me happy. It doesn't mean that I'm not entitled to, or that I don't deserve a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
And so it just like it feels like she thinks she's better than OP. And it's that classic mean girl, the behavior. I'm better. I deserve him. You should have nothing.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk as the maid of honor for refusing to tell the bride her groom may dislike her wedding dress and planned hair dye? I'm a 28-year-old female and will be the maid of honor to my sister, Mia, a 24-year-old female. Mia's husband will be Preston, a 28-year-old male. Preston has some preferences. He likes very modest clothing for women. He also likes certain hair colors, jet black hair. Even when a woman doesn't have his preferred hair color, he genuinely prefers that a woman doesn't dye her hair. Mia showed me and my future sister-in-law, Rachel, a 21-year-old female, her dress. It's sleeveless, backless, and shows cleavage. Mia also states her intention of going blonde for the wedding. During a conversation, Rachel told me that I needed to tell Mia that Preston will hate Mia's dress and planned hair dye. I said that he wouldn't hate it because he loves Mia. She tried to change her wording, saying that he may dislike it. Rachel said that I have to warn Mia. I asked Rachel what she means by warn, and Rachel said, Imagine getting married and your husband dislikes your wedding dress and hair. I said that it wouldn't feel good, and Rachel said that I got what she was saying. But I said that Mia already knows about Preston's preferences. Why should I tell her information that she already knows? Rachel said that maybe Mia needs to be reminded. I asked Rachel, does she think that her brother will insult Mia's looks at the wedding or something like that? And Rachel asked why I'm finding excuses not to talk to Mia about this. I asked her why she's worrying about nothing. She said, then when I get married, maybe nobody should warn me before I embarrass myself. I left the conversation there and then. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. I mean, this seems very weird that Rachel is so concerned about how Mia looks at the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
If the partner wants to bring it up, he is welcome to. But hopefully, he likes Mia enough that he would not, even if it's not his preferred look, he's not going to be upset. And so Rachel just needs to butt out of it. I
Yeah.
mean, if she really wants to say something, she could say it. But trying to be like, oh, P, you need to warn her because she's not going to look just like what my brother wants on the wedding day.
I mean, who's getting married here? Rachel or Mia?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for crying out loud here. Um, no, I mean, OP does not have to warn Mia about this thing. If Rachel wants to, then she can, right? That's up
Right.
to her. She can say whatever she wants. But the fact that she wants OP to do it due to her dirty work or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, I think is pretty telling because she doesn't want to face the consequences of Mia being like, no, I'm not interested in, listening to you, right?
Yeah. Well, and Preston is a big boy. He can speak for himself.
Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, drastic changes before a wedding, I think, are generally like probably not a great idea, but what's important is Mia's happy on her wedding day, right? And if this is the style and look that she wants to go with, then that's up to her, right? You get married once, and if this is the way she wants to get married, then that's up to her, right? It's not up to Rachel. And I hopefully, you know, Preston is going to like her no matter how she looks on that day, right? All that is important is that they are, sharing their commitment to the relationship with everyone else that day. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What do you call a greedy elf?
Well, I call a greedy elf Santa's little helper, and what this little greedy elf does is when Santa drops the presents off, the elf takes the presents back, and so that's what I call them.
They're elfish.
They're elfish. Yes, the Santa's little helper is very elfish, and I have Mega Mint. And folks, today is a very special day. It is Elf Day, so make sure to go find yourself an elf. And if it has to be an elf on the shelf, then so be it. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Manic Monday, folks. I hope your Monday is off to a great start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on sabotage.
don't sabotage things that your other people are making. Like, just don't sabotage crafts.
Yeah, yeah. And also, probably not a good idea to put dog poop in people's mailboxes. Just saying. Instead, arrange it in a nice orderly grid in front of their door so they have an easier time collecting it when they open up their door. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.